So randomly this morning, I just get a notification from Fallout, and basically, we get the teaser trailer for Fallout 76. I was very insanely excited when I first clicked on it, and after I watched the trailer, it actually revealed a lot. Surprisingly, it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of little things to go through in this teaser trailer and everything, just to get a sense of what the setting, the story, how the game's gonna work, and everything like that. There's a lot of interesting little details that you may have missed on the first time looking at the trailer that I'm gonna go over, and I want you guys to let me know what you guys have seen down below that I might have missed in my video, because it'll be really cool to start a little discussion down below. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna be just nitpicking the heck out of this trailer. It should be pretty insane, and I just cannot wait for this game. So I don't know, it seems only fair to start off with what I know about Vault 76 was the most revealed thing in the trailer. I think there was a lot of little hints to Vault 76, and there have been hints in other games about this certain vault. After doing a little research on it, I know I've read through it in the games and stuff like that, but I just wanted to get a little more research done. Basically, this vault was designed to be sort of a controlled test, so it would keep the other experimental vaults in line. So all these other experiments were happening in these other vaults. Well, in this one, nothing was happening. Everyone was living normally, and no certain experiment was happening. So this plays a huge factor in the fact that there's not going to be anything mysterious when you first get out of this vault. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to start the game in this vault, you're from this vault, like the other games have done in the past. This may not be the case, but it very well could be. So some other extra details: this vault was essentially designed to have around 500 inhabitants and also open 20 years after the nuclear fallout. This is very important because most of the games have not started in that era. Most of them have been 100 to 200 years later. So, I mean, there's definitely not going to be a lot of build up and civilization out in the wasteland. So I think this is where a very important thing comes up, and I think a very good base for the multiplayer aspect of the game. There's not going to be things we've seen in the other games, such as Megaton, Diamond City and all this, and New Vegas and the Vegas Strip and everything. There's not going to be too much civilization. There's going to be more like what we've seen in Fallout 4 with the smaller settlements and that kind of thing, and people are going to be forced to build up their own little things. I can see a multiplayer aspect in that, and there's a lot of other things that I'll talk about later that has been said on the internet by pretty reputable resources, and I don't know, I'm pretty convinced that there is going to be a multiplayer component, but we're not too certain yet. And it also doesn't follow the time schedule. The actual vault was supposed to open open the doors in 2096. So to be 5 years later and the character's still in the vault in the trailer is pretty interesting. And another thing I noticed is that in the actual vault there's a celebration type thing for Reclamation Day. We don't know what that is yet, but there are a lot of balloons and stuff, and it doesn't look very friendly. There's a lot of pop balloons and a lot of trash on the floor. So I don't know if that's like a after party state, or if that's just it's been there forever and it just got trashed and the vault is no longer livable, or you're the only one living in the vault, which is very strange to me and pretty interesting. So the room that you actually started in the trailer looks like it has some sort of backpack and a hat, which could very well emphasize the adventurous side of the game. So there's going to be a lot of exploring and stuff like that. So those are just some of the little things that I noticed off the bat that I thought were pretty interesting. So a source from Kotaku.com, Jason Schreier, I believe you say it, tweeted out something very controversial. He's like, "I think it's really important to reiterate this. Anyone who spends the next 2 weeks expecting Fallout 76 to be a traditional single-player RPG will be very disappointed." Now, I'm not sure whether he's seen the game or played it or whatever, but this is pretty controversial. As you can see, many of the Fallout fans have always enjoyed the single-player base game. That there's never really been any multiplayer components unless it was some sort of mod that made it co-op or something like that, and a lot of people like to keep it that way. So changing it to a multiplayer base is kind of interesting. I don't know how that'll work, especially with the storyline and everything. We've seen a lot of multiplayer games in the Bethesda series, such as ESO, not do so well because of this. And we like our single-player games at Bethesda and how they make them. It's pretty awesome, pretty relaxing to play, and there's always a good storyline. And I would definitely not trade that for any other multiplayer experience out there, even if it's for the new Fallout. So I just don't want things to get messed up. But after that, he even said, "I'm seeing some skepticism on Reddit and Twitch about my reporting that Fallout 76 is an online game, because they don't want to believe it. But again, if you spend the weeks getting hyped for a single-player RPG, you will be disappointed. I'm just looking out for you guys." Pretty controversial because he reiterates the point again and makes him a little bit more reputable, and everyone is trying to piece this together. And the fact that he said this twice is pretty interesting because he must know something that other people don't. Now, this is a good step in the direction that the game could be going multiplayer, because there's someone saying this, someone we can pretty much trust, and there's a lot of comments. He has a lot of followers on Twitter, obviously. So, I mean, I want to know down below what you guys would think of a multiplayer Fallout. It would definitely make sense in my opinion, because there isn't a civilization base like most of the other games that we've seen with like Megaton, Diamond City, Good Neighbor, these other places in the other Fallouts. There's going to be a lot less really big cities and trading towns and stuff like that, and more settlements and outposts in this game. So a multiplayer component could make it more like a lot of multiplayer people are playing together on a single server or something like that, and they're all building their own civilizations and trying to survive against each other, which I think is a cool idea. But for like a subgenre, I wouldn't want to see this incorporated in the main game. I'd rather this be like a separate game mode type thing. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but you guys let me know what you think down below. The other thing I wanted to comment on was the teaser trailer song mentioning West Virginia in it. The other thing I wanted to mention was the teaser trailer mentioning John Denver's song in it, putting it in there, and now also mentioning West Virginia multiple times in the lyrics. A lot of people are seeming to make conclusions that this game is going to take place in West Virginia. I'm not doubting it, but I mean, you should still be a little bit more open, because popular songs at that time didn't necessarily mean that like the game's going to take place in West Virginia, for example. It could have just been a popular song and it happens to mention his hometown of West Virginia. It still would be a good place to have the game's story and setting within it. So I don't know what you guys think about the setting. I would have much rather seen something in the West. Still possible, but definitely not as probable as we saw of Vault 76 and like Fallout 4, Fallout 3 mentioned a few times. So it's got to be more close than Fallout New Vegas was in that territory and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for my speculation. I want to start a discussion down below what you guys think on the game so far, what you guys think about the trailer and everything like that, and just let me know how I did and what you guys liked about what I found. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks, guys.